Hi, it's Patrick from the NBA Economist, and today I'm going to take you through a little bit of the salary cap, just an basic introduction to the hard cap and things like that. So let's get right into it. So this is the first video on the channel. Welcome, and there's going to be plenty more videos like this explaining. I'm going to go through a large majority of the entire CBA, which, if you don't know, is the collective bargaining agreement for the NBA, and it basically outlines everything salary cap related and why teams are able to do what they do with a certain amount of money and pay certain players and stuff like that. So first off, the NBA has a salary cap to basically control team spending in order to promote a competitive spirit throughout the league. So this is done because without a salary cap, the teams with the most revenue in the largest cities like New York and Chicago, who make so much money just by having a team through TV deals and stuff like that, would dominate the league by signing all the best players to the largest contracts the smaller market teams, such as some Milwaukee and Sacramento, wouldn't be able to offer based upon their total revenue. There are two different adaptations of the salary cap that can be deployed by league offices in different leagues: the hard cap or a soft cap. So the hard cap is a system that the NBA the NFL and various other leagues use, and that does not allow for other teams to spend over the articulated amount of cap room that each team has. So let's say the cap room is $85 million for the NFL. Teams can't go over that no matter what. They have to be under $85 million the whole way, the whole season. But in the NBA, they have a soft cap system. This allows teams to spend over the intended salary cap. So, for example, if the salary cap is $85 million in the NBA, every team is somehow able to spend over that. And I'm going to talk about the ways that why teams can do that and how they can. And so they take advantage of a number of rules such as exceptions and bird rights. There are also soft and hard salary floors throughout a variety of leagues. This means that teams must either spend a certain amount of money or choose not to. Um, in the NBA, if a team does not reach the salary cap floor, they have to redistribute the difference between their salary payroll and the cap floor between the remaining players on their team. So let's say a team is $4 million under the salary cap floor. They must give that $4 million that they didn't reach in between to the players that they currently have on their team. So either way, if a team does not hit the salary floor, they will have to pay the same amount of money anyway, motivating the teams to go out and spend. You must be asking yourselves, why do teams consistently not hit the salary floor? The answer to that is tanking. Teams, obviously, most people who are watching this video understand the concept of tanking, but basically, it's the idea of teams losing to get a better draft pick. And so basically here, teams want a better draft pick and would rather pay the excess money to their current players than give it to a player that could potentially win them more games. It sounds ludicrous, I know. But so the Sixers consistently did this in recent years to promote losing in high draft picks, and so far it's looking like it could end up working out. A soft cap is used in the NBA to give teams more flexibility in making transactions and also promote a wider variety of financial options for a team. Whether the team owner wants to focus on revenue by barely hitting the salary cap floor and making money for the franchise, or focus on winning a championship by spending excessively with penalties such as the luxury tax. That's what the Cleveland Cavaliers have been doing the past few years, and they've actually lost money last year. They lost over $30 million last year, and I'll explain more of that in another video. Another reason for the soft cap is that it allows for teams to focus on being competitive in a particular season without having to worry about losing its own players in the future if they're willing to exceed the salary cap. So here are a couple examples of a variety of salary cap situations from this season, the 2016-2017 NBA season. So first I want to talk about the Utah Jazz, who are one of 4 teams who are under the salary cap floor. So the Jazz are about $13.5 million under the salary cap and actually have the lowest salary in the league. The Jazz are also, as I said, $4.5 million underneath the salary floor, which is a shocking number for a team that's currently competing in the West. So if the season ends with that number, the Jazz will have to pay $4.5 million to their current roster, distributed evenly. In the 2015-2016 season, no teams were under the salary cap floor, while this season, 4 teams are on pace to be under that floor, including 2 teams in the Jazz and the Nuggets who are currently in playoff position. So why could this happen? This season, the salary cap jumped up $24 million from the previous season, which left teams sprawling to spend money at will. While teams like the Lakers offered ridiculous contracts to players like Timofey Mozgov and Luol Deng to try and improve their team and exceed the salary floor, the Jazz stayed more quiet, and even though they had a much more talented roster. The Jazz are willing to have the lowest payroll this year with the expectation that it won't be the case in the future. They have guys like George Hill, Rodney Hood, and Gordon Hayward as free agents this coming summer. The Jazz know that they can offer these players massive contracts to resign with their original team in line with bird rights, which I'll also talk about in another video, and they are trying to protect themselves from future debts as best as possible. They want to be able to resign their free agents, but still be in a manageable situation as they enter a potential luxury tax period, which involves being taxed based on how much money you spend if you pass a certain threshold, based on how much they pay their free agents. A potential issue is that the Jazz are a smaller market team in Utah. So going over the luxury tax is a much bigger deal and a bigger bullet to bite than, for example, for the Lakers, who are much more able to take a risk on guys like Mozgov, because the losses in the luxury tax money don't mean that much to them because their TV deal is close to as much as a lot of the revenue that the Utah Jazz make in total. Another example of a team that has an interesting salary cap situation is the Cleveland Cavs. At this point in time, the Cavs are $33 million over the salary cap and almost $14 million over the luxury tax, the penalty a team receives for exceeding the salary cap by too much. I'll soon make a video on luxury taxes, but just after the All-Star break, the Cavs were obviously well over the cap and the luxury cap, but still had money they could spend. And you want to know why? The Cavs were able to spend because of salary cap exceptions, which are granted to teams that are over the salary cap in order to help them still be able to add to their team, even if they are over the cap. I will make another video about this as well. So the Cavs used a part of one of their exceptions to allow them to sign Deron Williams, who recently just cleared waivers from the Dallas Mavericks and became a free agent. Deron Williams then signed a rest of the season contract in which he earned about $410,000, and that counted against the salary cap or the Cavs exception and cap room by the same amount. But in total, that cost the Cavs almost $1 million, $908,000 in total money that must be paid as a result of their status above the luxury tax. They had to multiply their certain amount of money that they paid Deron Williams by X amount of dollars, and that cost them that much money, almost around $900,000, in order to be able to sign Deron Williams, while Deron Williams is only making $410,000. So basically, that wraps up a quick summary on what the NBA salary cap policy is, how it functions, and how it applies to teams in a variety of situations in today's highly expensive NBA. I know I didn't cover everything, and as that would be impossible in such a short video. The NBA CBA is so dense, and there's a lot of information to go through. And I'm going to try and pump out videos as quickly as possible. Soon, next is going to be the luxury tax and the bird rights. I'm going to make those videos next because I think they're essential to understanding what this is about. But please ask questions in the comments if you're wondering anything, and subscribe to me wondering anything about the CBA, and please subscribe to see more videos on the other CBA policies such as the luxury tax and player exceptions to fully understand everything I'm talking about here. Thanks, and please enjoy your day.